In this video, we're going to look at what I think is the most important thing when you woodwork. In this video, we're going to talk about moisture content. If you use timber that's not got the correct moisture content, then you're going to have all sorts of problems. It doesn't matter how good a woodworker you are, your project is never going to turn out, what can I say, good. So I've had a few people ask me, what is the right moisture content for woodworking? Now, if you're doing woodworking for things like furniture and things like that, indoor woodworking, really you want that moisture content to be well below the 20% mark. Now, the lower you can get that moisture content, the better, because moisture is the thing that causes timber to move. So the less moisture in that timber, the less movement you're going to get. Basically, what's happening is as that moisture leaves that timber, the timber is going to shrink. And then as moisture enters that timber, the timber is going to swell. So to show this better, I'm going to use this. This is a UX moisture content meter. You can buy these relatively cheap. I'll put a link down in the description to this one. It's well worth you getting one if you're serious about doing some woodworking. So you just turn it on. On the top here, you've got two prongs, 2 points. What you're going to do, I've got here a piece of timber off a tree that I've just got from across the road. So this is just natural state. It's had no seasoning, no kiln drying or anything. This is a natural state. So all we do is just push the prongs into the timber. That's given me a reading of about 35% moisture content, which is really high. Even things like firewood has to be below 20%, because what happens if it's above 20% is it causes more tar and it can cause more pollution. But in woodworking terms, we want that moisture content to be right low so that we get less movement in our timber. The last thing you want to do is make a nice piece of furniture with doors on, say, and then after you've finished it, it looks lovely. Within a couple of days, your doors are warping or shrinking. It really is heartbreaking when you put your heart and soul into a project and then it moves because the moisture content's not right in the wood you've brought. So even when you go timber merchants and things like that, it's well worth getting yourself one of these moisture meters and just checking the timber, because sometimes they will tell you it is low, sort of 15% or 10%. And it isn't. It's got damp, it's been outside in the rain and they've brought it in. To the touch, it probably feels dry, but inside that moisture content is too high. So I've got a few examples here. As I say, the normal piece of tree that I just tested is around about 35%. So that's the natural state of timber. It's got about 35% water in that timber. And then we've got to things like carcassing timber. This is just a piece of C16 carcassing timber. And if I do the same to this, I expect this to probably be below 10%. Yeah, it's around about 8% that is. So that's 8% moisture content. Then I'm going to go to this one. Now this is Canadian Quebec pine. This is a very, very dry wood. You can feel with the weight difference, this is really light because there's less moisture content in it. So if I test the Canadian pine with a moisture meter, that is only 5.6, so just over 5% moisture. So that's really low. So that's what you want to be looking for when you're making furniture. So as I say, you really want to be aiming sort of 10% or below for things like internal furniture and things like that, things you're making for inside. If you buy green timber, it will be like this. It's going to be sort of 35% moisture content. If you buy something that's dried green timber, so it's unseasoned, but it's been left in a shed to dry out, you're probably going to get down to around about that 20%, 20 to 25%. But if you want to make furniture and things for inside, I would aim for sort of low, sort of 8, 7, 6%, round about there, and you should be fine. You're going to get a lot less movement. Of course, timber is a natural product, so it will always move, but you'll get a lot less movement if the lower the moisture content. So there you go. So as I say, I'll put a link to this UX moisture meter in the description below. If you've got any questions about moisture content of timber, drop it in comments and I'll do my best to answer it for you. And I'll see you lot on the next one.